Hey guys, Clumsy here. Shorter video than usual today. I wanted to focus on something that has been reported as a very common issue, and that is regarding the approach. So when we are nearing our destination airport, in this case we are going to Romeo Papa Lima Lima, that is the NAIA International Airport in Manila. The problem is when, for example, air traffic control gives you something, they assign you an approach. They say, for example, expect ILS 24 or cleared for the ILS runway 24, something along those lines. Then the next step for us normally is to go to the MFD, and yes, I do have a mod here which changes the touchscreen controls here, which makes it much more better looking and more realistic. Anyway, that is in the mods list link. Is in the video description. Check it out. Anyway, so what we do normally, and right now I don't have an arrival here, what we do normally is we punch in an approach, say ILS 24, pick the transition that they give us, and then load this, right? But that is almost always going to cause a problem by default, because what it normally does is it loads in this approach ILS 24 starting in the initial approach fix of Zulu, but in addition, well, maybe it's easier if I show you. Let's load that. There you go, the beauty of this Flight Sim 2020 planning at the moment. So we have to find the workaround. You can see the problem. It creates a magenta line going to Zulu, but coming from Timon, the waypoint right before, the last waypoint before we basically it creates a line going direct to the last en route waypoint, and then from there it goes to the initial approach fix. So it looks very weird because we are kind of going backwards before we go to Zulu directly. And in order to fix that, you can actually easily, it's actually simpler if you don't have any arrival set up. So if your arrival is blank, this is what you do. You just go to flight plan, and you see here the en route waypoint, the last one is Timon, right? And then the approach starts in Zulu. So what we just do is we go to this screen here, we say add en route waypoint and add in the initial approach fix of your approach, which is Zulu in our case. So we enter that one, and then we pick the right one here. That's the RP, yeah, that's the closest one. Pick that one. You see what happens? Now we're going direct to Zulu. That's how it should be. So you can actually prevent that weird going back logic in the first place if you plug in Zulu as the last en route waypoint before you even activate your approach. Does that make sense? Anyway, let's demonstrate that using a brand new flight plan. Hang tight, I'll reload the stuff. We are back. Very icy, very cold, very cloudy. Anyway, so we are back. I reloaded the flight plan, and we are just past Timon here, going direct to the airport. And now we are going to simulate that we are adding an approach. So this is going to be the right way to do it, okay? The previous one was the wrong way to do it, and what I mean by that is in real life, the first way we did should be totally fine, but the sim is still a bit buggy, so we have to get some workarounds in place while that's still being sorted out. So this is the right way of doing it from the sim's point of view, okay, not in real life point of view. Anyway, so zoom in a bit. Well, let's zoom out here. So before you even add the procedure, well, you can look at it. You can say ILS 24, okay, we want to add Zulu, just for reference. The transition is Zulu, alright? So, but don't do anything yet. Go back to home, and then go to flight plan here, and check the waypoints. You'll see that Timon is the last waypoint before you reach the destination. That's actually the waypoint we're at. What we can do is we can add an en route waypoint here, add Zulu, pick the right one, which is going to be this one, And that will make us go direct to Zulu now. Okay, so that's step 1. The next step is then activating the approach ILS24 Zulu, or loading it. And now we get that proper direct to Zulu, and then the rest of the waypoints. Now it might not be totally direct because we're still, sometimes you're farther along and you have to follow that magenta line. In this case, it's actually safe to do a direct to Zulu. Direct Zulu. You'll see there's like a double magenta line there, which seems like it's going to be wrong. There's like a thin one and a thick one. But that's totally fine in this case, because once we get to Zulu, the thick magenta line will disappear. So we are basically doing a proper direct, even if I don't have enough power here. I will be stalling pretty soon. Even if there is that thick magenta line, so just ignore that. And to illustrate it, maybe I can go there. So yeah, I'll try not to stall here. Let's start our descent. Maybe go down to 2,500 feet, which is the initial approach fix for this particular approach, if I remember correctly. Just go VS, descend at around 2,000 feet per minute, and I'll bring you guys back when we're close, just to prove that even if you have these two double magenta lines, the thinner one will be followed in this particular case. Okay, I hope that's really true. We'll test it. Hang tight. Okay, we are getting very close. 2.5 miles away from Zulu. We still have that double waypoint, the thin and the thick magenta lines. That's fine. And yes, we are still in the soup. Very bad weather here in Manila at the moment. I think we'll be doing this ILS to minimums. Goodness. But yeah, just to prove the point, so we go direct pretty soon. 1 mile away, the thick magenta line should disappear. There you go, and it should follow the rest of the approach accordingly. Actually, I also just realized with this patch 2, they improved the ILS approach. Look at this. If I go to nav here, the audios, it automatically changed the nav 1 for me. 109.9 is the ILS frequency here. You see we have the glide slope in white now. So it actually changes the frequency automatically if you set the approach correctly in the flight plan. And then now it even changes from FMS to localizer to nav 1 mode. You see the active nav became lock 1. And now the only thing you need to do is press the approach button so that you can capture the glide slope and the localizer properly. But yeah, that's great. I didn't even know that there is that automation in place now. That's really how it should be in real life, and good to see that they fixed that in the patch. Anyway, so this is one fix, right? This is one fix. But this won't really work if you have an arrival set up. So let's go and try that out with an arrival, see what the problem is, and see how we can fix it. Et voila! All the storms are gone because I have that weather bug again. You know that weather bug when you start loading your second flight onwards, and the second flight onwards don't have any live weather. That's the issue with me at the moment. 2 altimeter, no clouds, no bad weather or anything. Anyway, jumping back to the topic. This time we have an arrival, Alba 3 Papa. We just reached the end of the arrival, which is Natay, if you look at the flight plan. So the en route waypoint, the last one is Ragay, but we have an arrival. So all in all, the last waypoint before the airport is Natay. And ideally, we want to add Zulu to the end of Natay here, but it's not possible. So the best we can do is add that as an en route waypoint, Zulu. Pick the right one. That's this one. You see that there, but nothing's happening. And what you can do from here is put in the ILS approach, load it up, but it won't be perfect yet. You'll see. There you go. I don't even know where to begin here. I don't even know where to begin with that flight plan. But it says it's going to from Zulu to Albat, which I don't understand why. It's going to the start of the arrival, it seems. Where are you going? Zulu to Albat. Yeah, it's repeating all over again. So what you can do from this point is remove the arrival. Go to arrival, remove it. And so you get to that Zulu direct to Zulu, which is what you normally would want anyway if you've been cleared to the ILS approach. Right? So that's my tip. Add Zulu as an en route waypoint, remove the arrival, or assign the approach and then remove the arrival. And if needed, go direct to the waypoint. But that should get you closer to where you want to go. Hopefully that made a bit of sense. Go and check out if it also works for you. Now the hard thing is some of the approaches, they don't have a fixed waypoint approach. They have this like arbitrary number like 10 DME from the VOR, so it doesn't have a proper waypoint name. Now for that kind of approach, I'm afraid I don't have a solution. I don't know how to fix that, but so far how it works is if you have a waypoint you can actually go to. Are we getting close to an aircraft here? It does say in the map. But yeah, if you are... I'm scared now. But yeah, if you have an initial approach fix that is a waypoint, then yes, you can add that to the flight plan. I think the major problem is if that's not a real waypoint, if that's an arbitrary distance from a certain waypoint that is the initial approach fix, then you cannot really add that as an en route waypoint, and this is the main prerequisite to make things work. Yeah, but yeah, that's going to be tricky. Anyway, I'm a bit too high here. You can see glide slope has loaded in again. It loaded up the frequency automatically, 109.9, and now it switched to localizer. That's great. That is great that it works. Alright, but yes, good luck guys with the approaches. Let me know how it goes for you. If it's still making problems, let me know. We'll try to figure it out, although I cannot take credit for any of this because I'm just reading the forums and checking out the recommendations, and there are some smart people over there, and yeah, I'm just sharing the good news. So at least we can continue to fly until we're waiting for Asobo to really fix the flight planning. Good luck everybody. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day, and catch you in the next video. Hopefully a full flight next time. Good luck, Clumsy flying, and bye-bye.